Welcome to Real Deal Talk, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm here to tell you I would love to say that I have this great big plan of attack, but I actually don't. I'm just going to wing this podcast. I'm going to speak from my heart. I've had something burning inside of me for years and years and years. I've had a complete obsession which started, 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago with maximizing my human potential on this earth and figuring out why I'm here. What is my purpose? And now, and I know that it's to inspire others, but how do I do that? And so I said, why don't I just start a podcast and start firing away? And that's exactly what I'm doing here. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to it, I can't thank you enough, number one, just for tuning in. But everybody that's watching or listening right now, and by the way, the premise of the podcast is this, the title of it, and it's going to sum it all up. We were all born to win. Okay, let me say that again. We were all born to win. The problem is we're all programmed from day one to not win, to be afraid of winning, to live in fear. Never in history has there been more fear-mongering going on in our society. And that's saying a lot because it's always been there. But right now, the last 2 years, we've had a major pandemic where they are funneling and forcing fear down our throats at a rate that you can't, it's just insane. So I'm thinking, how can I make a difference in this day and age where this is going on? And I thought, you know what? Because the bottom line is this, life is about self-mastery. And self-mastery happens in your mind. And when you feed, we were all basically been programmed since day one to not win. So we're being fed all of this information, all these ideas to get you to basically live in the rat race and to live a mundane life, pay your tax, go to get a job forever, and then die. So a profound statement I heard recently. I'm going to hit you with this right off the bat. It's said that most people, the majority of people actually die by the time they're 25 and aren't buried until they're in their 70s. Let that sink in a little bit right there. What does that mean? That means everybody has so much crap in their brains that's been funneled into our being since we were born. Don't do this. Live in fear. Can't do this. Don't step outside the box. That people are just literally surviving. Barely anybody is actually living, let alone thriving. Which to me, and recently, this has started to bother me. It doesn't have to be this way. It just doesn't. Even though they're telling you right now, fear, 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 even our children right now are being programmed to be in fear every minute of their life. I'm not going to get too far to that rabbit hole, but you know it. We're raising our children in fear right now. So what do we do? What can we do? And if you're watching this podcast, I'm going to make a statement here. I want you to, for the next several days, I want you to wake up and look in the mirror and ask yourself a question. If today were my last day on earth, would I do what I'm about to do today? Think about that. I'll repeat the question because I want you to ask yourself this. If today were my last day on earth, this was my last day, would I do today what I'm about to do? Think about that. And if the answer is no for too many days or weeks in a row, then that is a sign that you need to change what you're doing. And I went back, I said self-mastery, because the definition of success is being better today than you were yesterday. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not growing, you're dying. If your relationship is not growing, it's dying. If your business isn't growing, it's dying. They say that the wealthiest place on planet Earth is the graveyard. Do you know what that means? You know why that statement is so profound? Because most people, 97% of people, go to their grave with their dreams inside of them, never having gone for it their entire life. That bothers me a lot. So that's why I started this podcast, because I want to inspire one person two people, if I can inspire even anybody that's watching or listening to this to dig deep and wake up and say, you know what, that's it. I'm tired of living a mundane life. I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of not living the dream life. Ask yourself right now, am I living the life of my dreams right now? Do I have the most beautiful, amazing relationship with my significant other? If the answer is no, you need to make changes. And how does that happen? You have to start funneling new information into your brain is how that happens. This podcast can be your home for inspiration. I'm bringing in guests that are going to inspire people. They're not only for inspiration, that are going to, there's people that are coming in here that are going from their mother's couch at 31 with broke to running $100 million companies. People that have the most insanely terrifying childhood being abused to now being one of the most successful business owners in North America. So I'm going to dig into backstories that you can be inspired by. Not only that, the inspiration part of this, because let me tell you, life's hard. Life's a bitch. And the older you get, the harder life is. Period. It's that simple. But I'm going to leverage the stories of my guests, and believe me, I'm going to dig in, and yes, they're all long because I love digging into backstories. It's my thing. I've been doing it my whole life. Now I'm just putting it on film. So the point is this. If you don't want to watch for a long podcast, then go elsewhere. Do what you got to do. But I'm telling you, you're going to be so inspired by these stories, by these guests. Not only that, we're only 8 interviews in here. And you're going to see 8 interviews with some of the most quality human beings I've met in my entire life. And only 8, you have enough information and guests on this podcast that are actually going to give you practical information on how to live a more fulfilled life, one filled with authenticity and purpose. Because that's what the name of the game here is. You've got guys and girls on this podcast that you can actually reach out to and get involved in their program. They will teach you how the 1% thinks, acts, and operates. How spiritually, emotionally, physically. Listen, let me tell you something. Everybody thinks financial is the game. It's not the complete game. Self-mastery involves physical as well. So you've got guests on here already that you can lock in with on this podcast. Not just be inspired by their stories, but actually follow up with them. Marriage coaches. I've got it all. That will be able to give you practical information. Not only that, but tap into their systems that will help you get out. Like if you're one of the ones that look in that mirror and you're not happy with what you're doing, and if you're not living the life of your dreams, and you need inspiration, because the bottom line is you become who you hang around. And let this podcast be your new crew, your new tribe. Because in order to get to that next level, in order to make changes, you have to surround yourself with people with that mindset of, I want to make change and I want to grow every day. Every day, grow a little bit in every area of your life. Physical, spiritual, emotional, social, go down the list, mental. All these areas of becoming a perfectly well-rounded human being are attainable. Because if you woke up with breath in your lungs today, that means you've got a shot. And right now our society is basically trying to tell us that this is the worst time in the history of mankind to be alive. That is absolutely false. Right now is the best time to be alive. You know why? Because the opportunity for those that are willing to step outside the box, that are willing to take a chance, to take a risk, and to do something outside the norm has never been bigger in the history of our country and life, basically, because of the information age. This thing right here, if you have this, you can become a multimillionaire right in your own phone, right here. Never in history have we had more opportunity than right now, but you have to be willing to go get it. And and I'm going to say this again, if you're looking at this and you're feeling like you've got something else in the tank, like I haven't tapped into who I truly am yet. If you're like, I know I've got something inside of me. I know I've got a calling on my name. And you know what? No matter who or what you believe in, I've tapped into God. God, I realize that I now have a God-given purpose, a God calling on my life. So that's why I launched this podcast. Recently, I just was burning inside of me to just say, you know what? I can make a difference. Because at the end of the day, folks, when it's all said and done, you get to the end. At your funeral, no one's gonna be saying, hey, do you remember the house they lived in? Do you remember that cool car? Remember the cool watches they have? All the things they had? No one's gonna talk about that. The only thing that they're gonna talk about is the impact that you made while you were here. What kind of impact are you making every day of your life right now? Think about it. Are you making an impact within your family or just in your family? Or not at all? Are you settling in a relationship that is not serving you or serving your significant other? You're basically glorified roommates at this point, and there's no love, there's no intimacy, there's no passion. If that's the case, guess what? You need to make a move. You need to do something differently, because if you're not making an impact, listen, bottom line is this: we are all born with a potential and a gift. Our job in life is to figure out what that gift or potential is. And then our purpose is to give that gift and potential away to the world while we're here till it's all said and done. I'll go back to the thing what I said was being at your... No one's going to care the stuff you had. They're only going to... Who's going to remember you that you were here? Who's even going to know you were here? Most people go their entire life and no one's even going to know they were here. That bothers me a lot. I'm hoping to inspire anybody on this podcast to say, you know what? I feel this. I feel I've got a calling on my life. Where do we start? You start by watching these guests, get inspired by the story. And not only that, but the guests that I've got on here, they actually will hold your hand on how to have better relationships, how to think like the 1%. How to take it to the next level. Because listen, the reason none of us go for it in life is because of fear. And it's not because of fear of failure. It's not. It's the fear of what happens when you do fail. Because public scrutiny, everybody's so driven by what people think about them. It ruins, we all operate through the eyes of our peers, how they think that we should act, through our ego. No one ever digs down deep with who we actually meant to be, or who we actually are in our soul, in our heart as a human being, who we actually are. Why we're here, our purpose, our God-given purpose. So we're driven by fear, okay? So, and again, I'll say this again. If you've woken up and you're blessed with another day, you've got an opportunity. And I want you to remember this. If this doesn't motivate you, then I don't know what will. Because I want you to think about when you wake up, when you hear this podcast, when you hear what I'm saying right here, I want you to really think about this, because I think about this a lot, and it gets me emotional every time. Think about the fact that right now you got a dream inside. You got an idea, a dream. Why aren't you going for it? What's holding you back? You have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You know why? Because someday you're not going to be here. Think about that. Someday you're going to be dead, and it's over. What do you have to lose? Nothing. I think about that all the time. And it motivates the freaking hell out of me. Telling you right now. I know I'm on the clock. I'm 50. Maybe this is a midlife crisis thing. I don't know. But the bottom line is, I just want to maximize potential, self-mastery, self-esteem, self-love. Nobody loves themselves anymore. We're all beating ourselves up. We're all on medication. Everybody's prescribing medication. Yeah. So, I don't have a plan of attack for this other than just spit fire. Whatever's on my heart, I'm going to let it fly. Hopefully inspire somebody. And if I've resonated, if something's been inspired you, please let me know about it. Please. And I know to this day and age, it's like nobody can even muster up a like or God forbid you do a comment, take 30 seconds to actually write something. Listen, I'm talking about myself. I'm the same way. Comment. If you've resonated, if this has done anything for you, if you think I'm an idiot or an ass, let me know about it. I'll take all feedback. I don't care. But please, if it's resonated and done something for you, inspired you, like, comment, share, write a review. I'm going to be on every single platform you can imagine, okay? It'll keep me, that's going to feed my fuel my fire, so to speak, because I actually just letting it fly at this point. Everybody's like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, I don't know. All I know is we were all born to win. We were all born to win. We were all born with a gift, all born with a potential. And it's like, you've heard that, the gift to us, God's gift to us is a gift and a potential. Our gift to him is what we do with it. What are you going to do with it? So, ladies and gentlemen, I could go all day with this, and I'm firing off from my heart here, but I'll leave you with this. If you're not living the life of your dreams, I'll say this again. Think about this seriously. Look in the mirror and ask yourself, if today were my last day, I'm going to finish with this, how I started it. Would I do today what I'm about to do? And if the answer is no, too many days in a row, that's a sign you need to make a move. And if you need guidance, if you need inspiration, tap into this podcast, because you need to, number one, change your surroundings, change your mindset, change the information that's coming into your brain, turn off the news, because the news is just fear, 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 fear. Tune into positivity, tune into inspiration, surround yourself with a tribe, which is what I've done recently, which basically Awaken Church has driven this purpose out of me, has helped me step into my calling, because for the first time in my life, I've had not only some people, but hundreds of people that are not only believing in me, but are now actually rooting for me and want me to succeed. And that's what you need as well. Look at how long. I'm 50 years old. And it took me this long to finally tap in, because even for me, as a confident guy as I am, it took this long for me to finally get up the guts to launch this podcast. Because I finally have people that believe me. I was petrified. I am still petrified at what people are going to think. I hate seeing myself on film. Petrified, believe it or not. So it took this. So this is what we're going to now bring to you, is a tribe, a surrounding, inspirational platform that is going to hopefully inspire as many people as possible to do something differently, to make a difference, to make it to basically say, you know what, that's it. I have a calling on my life. I know that I do. I know I'm not done yet. I know I haven't tapped into it yet. I've got a gift and a potential that I know that I can do good with. I don't even know what or how. That's the first step, is to say, you know what? That's it. I'm going to dig deep, and I'm going to, because remember, I'll leave you again with this. Someday you're not going to be here. You have nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. Why not go for it? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Deal Talk. Make it happen, make a difference, and make no excuses. That's it, baby. Let's go.